shade tree, no, stop, wait. What's up, weirdos? It's Shade Tree Surgeon here, your very favorite cheapskate, and today we're talking about the very cheap Buddy Bezos Big Lion Chinesium Special headlight that I put on my Sportster. I promised you guys I would update you with a real review because I eschewed even the more expensive Chinese brands and went with the cheapest one I could find. So here we are. It doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work for my application. Now it does work. It actually works wonderfully. This thing is incredibly bright. Is it gonna handle any off-road abuse? I don't know yet. I haven't taken it off-road with this headlight on there, but it doesn't really work on the street. I will say a lot of people warned me about that in the comment section. They said it doesn't have the same throw as an automotive style or motorcycle SAE style bulb, and it's gonna blind people on the street. There's really nothing you can do about it. It just is not made for street use, but I will tell you this to everybody who comments on a video. I promise you the video happened at a previous point in time. I cannot go back in time as much as I would like to sometimes. So while I certainly appreciate all the Paul Reveres out there crying their warnings to me, oh God, Shade Tree, no, stop, wait. I promise you, I can't actually go back in time. This is previously recorded. So what's an idiot to do? I don't want to lose my big yellow headlight. I really like the way it looks. There's really only one solution when your headlight's too bright for the street. More headlights. I guess Oxbeam gets the last laugh. As hilarious as I find their previous sponsorship of every single automotive motorcycle YouTuber on the planet back in the day and then jacking up their prices to almost domestic levels, I'm pretty sure a lot of those domestic lights are still made overseas, but I digress. I ended up having to buy some Oxbeams anyway because they're the cheapest ones that I could find that had a high beam and a low beam. We're still keeping the Big Lion yellow light because I love the way it looks, but we're adding these. Seems kind of counterintuitive that adding more lights is going to solve my problem, but I'm a fan of bigger is better. Eventually you go back around the other way, right? Right. All right, boys, let me just clear some room here in my awesome unboxing area, and let's see what these things look like. Now, Oxbeam is not the only company to offer fog lights with a high beam and a low beam, but they were the cheapest high beam, low beam that I could find. Now, these are pretty lame looking in my opinion, so they're not taking the place of my big yellow light. They are in addition to. My plan right now for China's finest here is to mount it to my crash bar. There's no mounting points on the crash bar and there's no flat place on here to drill bungs for these, so I'm gonna have to do a little fabrication, which makes all the real fabricators and welders out there shudder in anticipation. Not the good kind either. But shudder away! I never let someone cringing stop me from having a good time, or a bad time either for that matter. Oxbeam themselves offered me some pretty good template makers here. Safety third. And this is why you have two grinders. They're kind of close. I don't want this too close to the engine, but I do want to keep them in tight. I could probably spend my time a little bit better than watching paint dry. Let's go ahead and get it wired up. And this thing's long enough to wire it up in a quad cab F350. So just a little bit extra for my Sportster. Come on, man. All right, there we go. That looks passable. I always like to plug one in and make sure it works before I go through the trouble of wiring the whole thing. Oh, that works all right. Does the switch work? Cool. Oh, that's bright. But I got high beams and low beams. There we go. All this can get stuffed back under here. Son of a... Give me a break with this shit, man. Not terribly fond of this little plastic switch. We'll probably replace it later. Not probably. We'll definitely replace it later. There's no way this is going to hold up on a solid mounted Sportster. Ow! Well, all you guys who hate it when somebody doesn't use actual zip tie cutters, I just got my comeuppance and already cut myself on one of my own zip ties. Joke's on me, I don't have a pair of zip tie cutters.
One had once before been burned to the ground by the conquering hegemon.
All right.
To confront evil, one must be open to all that is good in the world, he said. Pharaoh loves the people of Dora, and he would never wish to see Paul engulfed in flames.
Nice. That ain't going nowhere. Probably. Well, we better go ahead and commence to jiggling, baby. Ramming speed, baby. The ODB might not be the fastest warship in Shade Tree Armada, but the Dirtster is capable of some pretty creative, evasive maneuvering. And just in case the fuzz kind of notices us boogieing a little hot to the USPS, which closes in about 20 minutes. Ooh, the Dirtster is a seed that makes Pumiego proud, which is a reference you only get if you made your way through the entirety of the Dandelion Dynasty. Got any Ken Liu fans out there? As usual, the Dirtster doesn't let me down, baby. Project Raw Dog to the rescue. When it's time for Plan B, there's only one bike I look for. Mischief managed, baby. Gotta give some big ups to Shay Lacey. She has been making sure that every single Brapstar order that comes in gets fulfilled every single Thursday. Well, every single Brapstar order that isn't a pre-order anyway. I don't know when you're gonna be watching this video, but we don't have the pre-orders yet. We should have them in a few days, and we're gonna spend all night packing them up and sending them out to you guys. The second we get our dirty little dick beaters on them, we have to stay up for 24 hours packing them all. That's what we do. The biggest thanks goes to all of y'all. You guys are the ones who order Brapstar stuff. You all are the ones who are putting the Shade Tree Army on your tit, covering your shameful nudity with Brapstar threads. That's the #1 way you can support this channel. Huge thanks to all you guys out there who have Brapstar stuff, who've ordered it in the past, who have made the pre-orders that are coming soon, and who will support us in the future. I'm going to try to keep on making awesome designs. I don't want anyone to ever buy because they feel obligated. I only want someone to buy it if, one, they're going to wear it, and two, they can't resist it. The worst thing I could think of is someone bought it just because I said so. And speaking of all of y'all, let's go ahead and get back to the fort because it's time to do a live stream, hang out with you guys, and 2 people are winning motorcycles tonight. Whenever we give away motorcycles for Forgotten Angels or Bert's Barracuda, it's always an exciting day because I just get to meet 2 new friends. We haven't had a bad one in the bunch yet. Not surprising though, everybody who buys a ticket loves motorcycles, watches YouTube, and is willing to donate to charity. Ducati. If you got all three of those things going on, stands to reason, I'll pretty easily find a fourth thing, a fifth thing, and probably that hand too. Well, it's an entirely different day, and if you're wondering why I'm dressed like a suburbanite dad whose kids are grown, divorced dad style, that's because I've got my new hot Colombian wife, Cami Bay, over here.
I feel like I look like a dolphin instructor.
You do. You're very wave race 64 right now. What's up, baby? No, I can see you throwing the fish. It's perfect. Anyway, I'm super dad style. Cami's super foreign mom style, but Cami still doesn't have a Ducati. So let's do something about that. I know I was making Cami work on this, but
What?
it's fun to learn, and we'll still learn. Cami's still gonna do a lot of this, but at a certain point, she just wants her damn motorcycle. Some of these were definitely loose.
Good job. Need one of those cups. Is oil gonna come out?
It shouldn't.
That's why it said no oil.
Yeah, that's why it says no oil.
So smart.
I need my plastic hammer. It needs a few metric bonks. Not that kind of bonk. Well, maybe a little oil will come out. Oh no!
Ew. Can you just put it right on top of it?
I mean, that's where the oil's coming out.
My OCD going. There you go.
All right, it's been about 10 minutes, so just waiting for this paint to dry. And, wait, what the?
Look how cute
Anyway, back to painting. We had to cut working on Cami Bay's bike short to film an episode of Ran When Parked with Joe the Mountain Jedi. We gotta catch as catch can when it comes to this stuff. Right now, the Shade Tree Surgeon channel is releasing 3 full-length videos a week, and I'm not upset about it, I love it, but both myself, Joe the Mountain Jedi, and Cami Bay all have day jobs. Definitely not complaining though, because Ran When Parked has been an absolute blast. The very first episode of Season 2, featuring this Ironhead, aka Barnacle Boy, is up on YouTube right now. You're gotta be kidding me!
Okay, it runs. We're done.
And all 4 episodes of Season 1 featuring Hen's Teeth, the Kawasaki Eliminator ZL900, are up on YouTube in a playlist right now as well. I'll have that link down below. And speaking of the Eliminator, let's go on a ride with it. Ran when parked. That's a sound I like to hear. The Eliminator. If you're watching this right now, then the final episode of Ran When Parked is officially out. As evidenced right there. Doing Ran When Parked with Joe the Mountain Jedi has been nothing short of amazing. I've learned so much, it's not even funny, and a lot of it is not just learning how to work on bikes. I knew how to do that a little bit. Not very good, but I would say a little bit. Enough to get myself in trouble anyway. And it's not like I'm an expert now, that's not what's happened, but what I have learned is how deep to go. I've learned that when it comes to making a motorcycle roadworthy, there's just so much more involved, and like it's something I already knew. It's one of those things you kind of know, but you just kind of ignore, like ignoring maintenance or ignoring old tires, or things that have to do with making a motorcycle go from something that's collecting dust on somebody's back porch into something that you can trust to ride across the country. I don't think that the Sportster is going to be able to beat the Eliminator, but at least it does wheelies. Oh, yeah. Definitely not whipping the Eliminator. That thing's a monster. That's crazy how fast Japan could make their motorcycles in the 80s, man. Doing Ran When Parked with Joe has been an amazing experience, and it's not over. It just feels good to save these old bikes, man. It's bikes that people don't want to mess with. Old school, multi-cylinder, multi-valve bikes, double overhead camshaft bikes that just, like when they first got complicated in the 80s. It happens with 80s cars, too. I don't really care about cars that much. I like bike. It's like when girls say that they love every woman and one man. I love every motorcycle and some cars. So this mission to save old motorcycles from the 80s just feels so good, man. It's that era of motorcycles that people don't want to mess with. They don't want to save. They don't want to figure out all these carburetors and this weird 80s tech, and I do. And I've wanted to do that for a long time, but all my rage, all my yearning was impotent, for I had not the skill to do so. And along comes Joe, who has exactly the skill set we need, knowing how to make strange motorcycles from the 70s and 80s not only go, but go real fast. All the fluid where it's supposed to be?
My feet ain't wet.
The feet ain't wet, the crotch ain't wet, and the motorcycle ain't on fire or throwing a rod through the case. I'll call that a win so far. For something that hasn't been pinned wide open in probably well over a decade or two, that's doing pretty damn good. Once again, it's time to tie up some loose ends. Let's finish up the Power Pig. Well, if you guys remember last time, we're getting old Garrett's KZ1000 that he won from a raffle from Forgotten Angels ready so he can ride it back home to wherever home is. I wanted to make it with a minimum of drama, but I've been experiencing a little bit of drama here with the bike. Luckily, I've got a new Bendix for the starter today, so hopefully we put all that to rest. Now, I've never done this before, but how hard could it be? You know, I say that about just about everything. Yeah, I say that about everything, as I already run into an Allen that's smoked down here. Luckily, I got plenty of spare Allens. Okay, it is going to come out. Thank you. Even if it didn't come out when you smoke the top of an Allen, a Torx hammered in there will usually get it. I'm glad I'm getting in here. This thing right here was literally finger tight. Now, this is pressed on. I know this just presses it on, but I assume it should still probably be more than finger tight. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, this... Maybe the Bendix is actually fine. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. No wonder this thing wasn't starting. Holy crap, dude. Any KZ1000 guys out there? Anyone ever deal with literally just... It was not even pressed on. Wow, dude. Who was the last person inside this thing, dude? I have questions for you, okay? What in the hell is going on in here? Yeah, that was, that's pretty scary. I mean, I've got it apart and I have a new Bendix, so I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the Bendix anyway, but thinking the fact that it was literally just on there finger tight, I'm gonna go ahead and say probably the reason it wasn't starting, but better safe than sorry. These don't have any Loctite on them. I can't imagine these are not supposed to have Loctite on them. So I'm gonna at least put blue on it. So forgive my dirty area here, but I just had to talk to Joe the Mountain Jedi on the phone because I forgot what order these went in. But then I was just popping all these things out of the starter there, all these little guys right here and the little springs, and I was just cussing the day that Kawasaki was born. And then I was like, how do I get that in there with these guys in there? And I was fiddling around trying to poke them over and get it in until Joe goes, hey, dummy. Well, he didn't say dummy because he's nice. He said, hey, dummy, it's a one-way gear. Instead of just pushing it straight down, just turn it a little bit and boom, baby, it falls right in. Yeah, would you look at that? All of a sudden that works really well. Thanks, Joe. And any mechanic worth his salt who works on Kawasaki's or anything with that one-way starter clutch like that, I'm sure they know that. But hey, man, I'm trying to share that one because it seemed pretty neat to me. And I know I would have struggled for a lot longer before I figured that out. Huge thanks to Joe the Mountain Jedi for cudgeling his brain into submission and making it work for me at 5:30 in the morning. I owe him one. All right, let's see if this sucker starts now and doesn't leak gas, among other things. Does it crank? Well, that's just more than a little frustrating. Let's pull it back apart and see what I did wrong. Pretty sure this is going to be operator error. Well, that thing immediately freaking loosened up again. Like exactly what happened the last time. That's immediately loose again. We're leaking. Why are we leaking everywhere? Remember last time when I put the petcock on? Turns out I put it on upside down. Life is hard. It's harder when you're stupid. Wow. Truly amazing, Josh. Truly. Hey man, any job worth doing is doing twice, right? That's twice on this one and twice on that one. That means it's twice as good. It goes to show you it pays to pay attention. All right, I'll take it. The return of the Power Pig. I said the return of the Power Pig. That's more like it. What can you say? KZ-1000s, man. This engine could take a slug from a 45 straight to the case, and it'd keep on going for another 10 miles just on general principle. Because let me tell you something about the old big KZs. They stand on business, baby. There's just something about these bikes, and especially the fact that it's an old cop bike, that really just tickles me pink, man. Old Crown Vics, old Dodge Chargers, old KZ-1000s. They're just straight up hood rocket. After they've lived a life of policing, of walking the line, towing the mark, doing the right thing, standing up for what's good and righteous in the world. Well, after they're done with that, when they retire these things, they inevitably find their way to a life of crime. And when they make their way to me, let it not be said that Shade Tree Surgeon doesn't have a healthy appreciation for irony, because doing dirty deeds on an old cop bike, it's just a little more fun. And the Power Pig's going off with my man Garrett Farmer to live a life of crime somewhere else, and just putting my ass on this seat makes me want to keep it, that's for sure. But luckily, Sugar Tree J has made that a reality out in Portland. We've got the Power Pig 2.0 out there, the next hot fuzz, that's going to be delivering all the Brap Star, Sugar Tree Farm, and Sessions goodies to all those good boys and girls in the state of Oregon. There's always a second act, okay? Some people say I'm the worst, but if you stand on your head, I'm the best. It's all a matter of relativity, baby. And you could say that these two bikes, Power Pig 1 and 2, you could say that they've fallen into a life of crime after upholding the law, but I choose to say they're both in their redemption arc. Don't get me wrong, I got a lot of friends who are boys and girls in blue, and I love them dearly. It's just that when it comes to the fuzz, I'd just rather do my thing where they ain't, if you know what I mean, Jelly Bean. Let him go ahead and make a right-hand turn. Nothing to see here, officer, just a member of the Law-Abiding Citizens Club. When it comes to the boys in blue, I follow the same rules as baseball. Hit it where they ain't. Woohoo! Boy, these things scoot all right, don't they? Looking forward to doing a lot more KZ-1000 and 900 work with Joe the Mountain Jedi. He knows these engines real well, and he knows how to get big power out of them. Not that they're slouches as they sit, over 100 horsepower and plenty of torque out of this big 4, but I'm a maximalist, all right? My philosophy is more is better, and more than more is the betterest. Obviously, I want to put a few more miles on the Power Pig before I ultimately release it, and no, that's not just because I want to put a few more miles on it. I like to make sure he makes it home. It's never a guarantee, but isn't that part of the fun? Wrapping this up with a reminder, myself, Shaylisi, and hopefully Cammy Bay as well are going to be in Portland, Oregon. We will be there this coming Saturday, June 15th, organizing a big ride with Sessions, Sugar Tree Farm, and of course, Brapstar. In the time leading up to that, if you're an Oregoner, make sure to go to your local bud tender and ask them to order Brapstar and Sessions. It's going to be available for them to order on LeafLink, so make sure they got it at the store. You can ask them, they will get it in your store, and we are going to be there the 15th. We're meeting up at 10:30 a.m. at 630 Southwest Walnut Street in Hillsboro, Oregon. That's the Dab Factory. We're gonna ride out from there. It's a gorgeous ride. We're stopping at a couple dispensaries. We're gonna end the day at Legion Moto Co. in Portland downtown. It's gonna be an awesome time. We're doing a poker run. There's prizes. We'll be doing giveaways. And of course, just hanging out with you guys. I love meeting new people. I can't wait to see a lot of old friends that I know are gonna be there. It's always a blast. Come on the ride. Everybody's welcome. We've only got 2 rules. 1, don't ride like an asshole. And 2, don't be an asshole. If you do not partake of the mystical wizard herbs, that's absolutely okay. I still want you to come and hang out. You're not gonna be forced into anything. I still wanna see you there. Anyway, see you guys in Hillsboro, Oregon for the ride, Saturday the 15th. We got a couple videos in between now and then, and a pretty big adventure between now and then, but more on that in the next video. Make sure you're following me on Instagram or Facebook, links down below to keep up to date on everything in real time. The videos will still come out every Wednesday, Sunday, and Monday. That's gonna about do it for this one. Until next time, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. nowhere to hide, panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade Tree, Army! Shade Tree, Army! Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree? Army! Shade Tree, Army! They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high.
Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.